Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Study On. This is Sami Aziz and you are here with me to learn about a new subject which is operations research. This subject has got a great significance in field of engineering as well as in business studies. We learned this in business studies because in day-to-day problems that the companies face or the businesses face, they need a particular solution to that problem, and the best approach to be with that or to provide companies with a good solution is with the operations research. So we will learn step by step that what this subject is about. This is the introductory lecture about what the subject is and what techniques we can use to reach to our solutions. So let's get started with the first slide. So there are the contents that we will be discussing in this lecture. These are the historical background and introduction to OR, which is regarding, we will first see the history. We will discuss the introduction. In which we will be discussing definitions, and we will learn about that what is the operation research process, and because we are focusing on driving out solutions, so we will also discuss that what are the types of solutions. We will discuss that how modeling is done, because modeling is again going to be there, and we will also learn that what are the steps in designing the mathematical models, because this subject is heavily relied on mathematical models. So first I'm going to discuss about historical background of operations research and when it was originated and where it was originated. So it actually emerged at the time of the World War II, when it was a world war, and in the era of World War there was a lot of destruction, and that caused many countries to think about a solution that can rebuild their losses and then recover their losses, and industries that were destroyed and the infrastructure that was destroyed. So they needed something to cope with the situation. So when British government employed several teams of scientists and mathematicians to apply their expertise to management and operational problems, they called the scientists as well as the mathematicians to build up a team. There was a team created when both the scientists and mathematicians capabilities were added, and then there was a new thing created. There was an entire new range of solutions that were not existing ever before. So this kind of mix was created, and that resulted to OR, operations research. Okay, so why they needed it? Because due to the war, the industries were destroyed and they were left with very, very less resources, right? So when we have abundant resources, there is no problem to do things in our way. But when we are faced with less resources, so we need to do in such a way that we, do the work efficiently. So this team was helping with the less resources to overcome the problems. And at the same time, because there was a World War II going on, so radars were invented by British government, and they wanted to place them in such a manner that all the possible regions and areas were covered, so that if there was any aircraft entering that boundary, they would be able to know as soon as possible. So this mathematically they derived out that at what distance they should place the radars, and how they can cover the spaces in best possible manner. So this was how the operation research came into field, and it is known as radar operations research till date. In the World War II, it was decided and it was proposed, the idea was proposed that the team of a specialist should be sent to the industries that were destroyed badly, and because they wanted to overcome their, losses. So, and also because the infrastructure was, wanted to be restructured again or redeveloped again. So that's why the team were staying with the industries and, helping them develop very at a faster speed. So it started from Britain and it was followed by USA, then Europe, and then the rest of the world. So with techniques of operation research, countries gained with the loss in a short span of time, which was not possible then without operations research. So now we are moving towards the introduction of operation research. Formally, according to the definition, what operation research is, it is defined as operation research is the application of quantitative methods to decision making. So we use quantitative methods to decision making process. Otherwise we can make decisions without quantitative values, but that is not operations research. When we include quantitative terms and techniques, then we say it's a operations research. Okay, it's a management science. Why? Because we are including both the things. We are including the managerial decisions in it, and also we are including some mathematical models as well. So study of the problem as abstraction and application of resulting theory to practical situation. Whatever the problems are, whatever the situation is, we are using mathematical models, and we are then driving out the best solutions out of it. Now we are discussing about the OR process, or operation research process. So this is a series of steps that we should follow. So first thing first, we are going to observe the problem. Okay, whatever it is, because we haven't observation is done initially. Okay, we haven't yet recognized that this is a problem. We have just found out that something is not right, but we are just observing that what the problem actually is. Once we have recognized that this is a problem, we are going to define the problem, that this is the problem that our company is facing. After defining the problem, that we are now known with the problem, we know the problem, we will go for model construction, we will construct the model. Okay, in after modeling construction, we will solve it, and we will arrive to a solution that we will give to the firm. And also after the solution, the last but the very important step is the implementation. Without this, the OR process is incomplete. So now we are going to the step number 4, or the topic number 4, which is solution type. So let's discuss this because it's very important to know that what are the solution types. So first we have a possible solutions. Other is a feasible solution, and then is the optimal. So let's discuss further what is a possible solution. A possible solution is any one solution which is valid. Okay, so invalid solution can never be a possible one. For example, if I say that I have to increase productivity by 20% regarding whatever the constraints I am facing, then it is possible. But if I say I'm going to increase productivity by 100%, then it is not possible. Constraints related to my productivity, to my market approach, to my resources and everything. So I have to take out all the possible solutions that I can have. Then out of the possible solutions, I will go for the feasible solution, right? The feasible solution is chosen on the behalf of which possible outcomes are the best one that I can choose. Okay, so simple, I can give you the example, like you have to take an admission in a university or in a college. So what you do is that you make a list of possible universities that you can take an admission in. Then you, on the feasible behalf, when then you take out 4 to 5 universities that match your education criteria, your grading criteria, your fees structure, or your budget criteria, and also your residency criteria, because you are near to that university, is near to your home, you don't have a transport problem. So on behalf of these whole criteria, you select 1, 2, 3, 4 universities, and you make a list on them. These are the feasible, this is a feasible solution. Now you have the feasible points available. Now out of these feasible range, you have to select just one best university that is matching best to your requirement, which will suit to you from every angle, like from the grading behalf, from the transportation, from the fees, and from your qualification, and multiple factors that you can consider. So the one solution that you are going to take is called as here the optimal solution, which is the best solution chosen from the available outcomes or feasible points. So when you do this, that becomes the optimal solution. This is the optimal, which is the best outcome, which is the best university to study it. So we do this in our daily lives, and the same approach is going to be used for the businesses. Okay, then to explain you much in a better way, this suppose this whole space is called as a solution space or a region. We have these all are the solutions we are available with for a problem, but we cannot go for all of them. From this infinite solution space, we have to pick up some feasible solution, like we have to pick up some or few like 5, 10, 15, feasible solution points which we can go for. Then out of this feasible region, again we have to narrow it down. We have to pick up only one solution which is called as the optimal solution, and this solution is the one which is called as the best solution. So nothing can go best than that, then nothing is best than that. You have to implement this one because it matches all of your criterias. So this is about the selection of optimal solution. Number five, we have modeling. Okay, so what we do in the modeling, basically modeling is an art and a solution is a science. So we prepare the model. So basically we will be working with the mathematical model, but let me explain the other model types as well. So we have abstract models that you think in your mind and they are not visual, they are just thought in the mind, and that's it. These are the imaginary models. Physical models are the ones that you can see and touch or interact with, for example, architectural models or simulation models. And we have some mathematical models that are a combination of maths and variables and equations. So you can drive out your problems solution with these kind of models. So these we will be working with the mathematical models in our operations research. Now this is a sixth step, or this is a step where you will be making your mathematical models. How you can make it, this is a series of steps. Okay, so step number one, you have to identify the decision variables and denote them symbolically, right? So this is very important, because if you are not representing them symbolically, then you cannot in the end tell that which one variable you are giving the firm solution, that how many units of particular product should be made or not be made. So for example, symbolically, I mean like you denote with X, Y, Z, or any variable like A, B, C. So the reason is that in the end you will be saying and telling them that produce this much unit of A, this much unit of B, and produce this much unit of C, that to maximize your profit. So denoting them is very important. This is the first step. Step number two, finding out the decision constraints that is available by the firm to you regarding market, regarding their raw material, regarding anything that they are facing as a limitation, or might be time, might be funds. So you have to represent them in the mathematical equation, right? You have to represent them in a mathematical order. Then step number three is regarding the identifying of objective. Now objective can be two. Either it's a about maximization, or it can be about minimization. Now, maximization of what? Maximization of profit. Either the firm will be going or wanting a result or solution to increase their profit, or they want a solution or a ideal, best way to cut their costs or minimize their costs. So two things will be there. Either it will be maximization, you will be asked to give them suggestions on how they can maximize their profit or minimize their cost. So identify the objective. Once the objective is identified on behalf of the available information from step number 1, 2, 3, we have to go for step number 4, which is solving the model. We have prepared the model, because model will be prepared when you are doing all these three steps. Then model is ready. Now you have to go for the solution of the model. Once you have solved the model, you are definitely with a result, and you have to suggest that solution to the firm to implement. This is very important step. Okay, so this was about decision theory and analysis introductory chapter, in which you learned about the series of steps that you need to make to suggest a firm about their problems, and the best solutions that you can give. So in our next slides, in our next lecture, we will be coming up with a realistic problem that company is facing. We will be driving out the model. We will be representing the samples. And we will be giving the firm a very good solution of how they can maximize their productivity or minimize their cost. So I video was helpful, and the lecture gave you something important about this subject. So inshallah we will meet in another lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz.